Yeah, so October 21st, 2020, and you are now 25 years old. And really, I mean, the whole story we shall review is exactly this 25 years. And if we review these 25 years, what has happened in this world, and also mom really want to see your story about these 25 years, how you actually, walked your journey, and in the presence, physical presence of mom, and in the physical presence um, of quite a lot of leftist ideologies, the communist variants in the Western world, um, how you actually, were able to stay strong and stay immune to all those attack of all forms of viruses of the spiritual world, and manifesting certainly also in the physical world. And I think your story and mom's story will serve as very important reference to quite a lot of people. Okay, so anyway, mom always starting to look at the past history as almost someone's, like mom right now is standing at the position of a third person and want to review someone whose name is Dr. Tongwen Wang, and her journey. I think it's really the true state of mom, because mom is no longer in at the perspective of Dr. Tongwen Wang anymore. While a lot of people, from the surface, the physical clothing, the outside look, still consider mom to be Dr. Tongwen Wang, especially those who met Dr. Tongwen Wang before Dr. Tongwen Wang became Dr. Lotus King Wise or Tian Shui Li. So, but mom want to make sure eventually people understand, why we're talking about almost completely two different person. Okay, what really is the difference between Dr. Tongwen Wang and Dr. Lotus King Wise? What actually has caused that transition? And along that, starting to share with everyone this important journey and the lessons learned along the journey. Okay, so let's start to review, the past 25 years of history. Okay, so back in the year of 1995, what was really happening for Dr. Tongwen Wang? Well, Dr. Tongwen Wang came to America in 1988, on August 24th, and started to enter the field called cell biology to begin with, and then eventually entered into the field called developmental biology, and then entered into the field called molecular biology. So cell biology is the science, modern science, to study the life phenomena called a cell, and the cell is the building block of our body. And to understand what is the law that governs the human body, modern people understand the truth by dissecting, taking things apart, and then try to put them back. So cell biology basically is almost like one of the fundamental, area for modern people to try to understand human health, human life. So cell biology basically introduce the cell structure, and what makes up the cell, And it's just like when we try to understand the human body, we start to do human anatomy. So cell biology, in every regard, I think it's at the level of, cell anatomy and the cell physiology. Okay, basically about what makes up the cell and how each part of the cell work together to manifest the life phenomena at the cellular level. Okay, then when you talk about developmental biology, right now it is about how the human body is formed from the fertilized egg and gradually turn into an embryo, and that entire process is called developmental biology. And molecular biology now is another level. It is really about try to dissect the cell further, not only into the basic components, but even into molecules, single molecules, and how those molecules are made, and how the molecules function, and the law that governs the molecular function, and things like that. So, molecular biology more in depth understand the expression of the gene, and to do genetic engineering and things like that. So, modern life science is divided into lots of different subfield for people to try to focus upon certain specific questions and to address some specific questions. So from 1988 to 1992, basically mom was working for trying to master the fundamentals of modern life science, and then on the scholarly level is to try to complete the graduate school, and eventually 1992 get PhD, and then follow that went to Harvard Medical School and started to do the postdoctoral training, and that was the beginning of 1993. And so from 1993 on, basically was the research on a very, very important subject. Now, this subject concerns, at the molecular level, how life activities actually are regulated. So this field actually is called signal transduction research. Signal transduction research basically means how molecules actually can emit important instructive signal to the cells and then start to orchestrate the cell's behavior and to pretty much regulate the cell's life. Okay, so signal transduction research is a very frontier modern life science field, and it is the signal transduction field that start to unveil all the critical molecules that regulate the cellular behaviors and also cause cellular malfunction, and therefore it's called a human disease, and therefore mankind's hope has been placed onto the dissection of molecules and understanding the molecular mechanisms, and to identify the malfunctions, and therefore use ways to rectify the malfunctions of the molecules and to treat human disease. So it's called a molecular medicine, of the modern life science field. It's the most popular, it's the most powerful. It is also the theoretical foundation of all drug discovery and the drug development, the R&D, research and development of pharmaceutical companies. Okay, so basically, to study a family of very powerful molecules that actually they control the birth, aging, sickness, and death of the cell, and they regulate the entire human embryo formation. And so these kind of powerful molecules, mom called them molecular kings, Okay, they pretty much are the kings, and they determine the fate and the whole life pattern of the cells. So this family is called the transforming growth factor beta. And mom will one day explain very carefully throughout the lectures, very specifically on how modern life science has now uncovered the power of the transforming growth factor beta family. But in any case, mom at the time was, 25 years old. How interesting, yes, the number of 25. You're 25 years old today, and mom was 25 years old when mom started to encounter the transforming growth factor beta. Transforming growth factor beta, this family of molecular kings, when mom started to study them, they pretty much were unknown by the world regarding how they, exercise their power. So the big black box about the transforming growth factor beta in terms of their cellular receptor and in terms of how they transmit their signal from the cell receptor, the antenna sitting on the cell surface all the way into the nucleus, and then orchestrate all the complex, miraculous, regulation of the cell behavior that lead to the organ formation, the formation of the muscle, the bone, the heart, the kidney, right, the islands, and the hair follicles, and all that, you name it. The morphogenetic process in the human body formation. And also, those are the subject right now. The stem cell field talks about the whole field of about, regeneration field. People are dreaming about one day grow a lung, a heart, a kidney, grow an organ out from petri dish, out from stem cells. What kind of molecules actually are playing the role of telling the cell to become what? Those are the transforming growth factor beta superfamily, and that is the field that Dr. Tongwen Wang started to, open up when she went into Harvard Medical School. The lab was at Mass General Hospital, the Pediatric Surgical Research Laboratory. And first, Dr. Tongwen Wang went in there and to start to do a postdoctoral fellowship. Although it was a postdoctoral fellowship, but she was in a very unique position because she actually entered a lab that the lab head is a surgeon. Now, the surgeon has surgical, skills to do very important surgery, but she was not, specialized in doing very fundamental basic science research. So she hired very talented young postdoctoral fellow to operate the research projects in the laboratory, and she provided the resource for doing those research. So Dr. Tongwen Wang actually went into such a lab and very quickly was on her own, completely was on her own, as a matter of fact, from day one to operate her research project. And exactly because of that, she really started to show her insight and very quickly uncovered the cell surface receptor that is in charge of sending the signal of the transforming growth factor beta family inside of the cell. So what she really started to uncover was basically the black box. She started to open up the black box of the most powerful molecules inside of the human body that is in charge of cell's fate and can orchestrate the entire development of a human embryo. Okay, so those are the molecular kings and how they start to regulate life, how they transmit their signal, and how they orchestrate the organ formation. And all that was starting to be opened up by Dr. Tongwen Wang's innovative research approach. And that approach actually was brought into this research field by Dr. Tongwen Wang because she was from outside of the field. So when someone is from outside of the field and with a very unique and powerful technology, actually totally transformed the field as well. So her innovative, research approach not only impacted the entire, molecular king TGF-beta superfamily, research, but that methodology, that ideology, that kind of way of approaching signal transduction very quickly got spread into all the rest of the research field. And so it really is about, human intellect start to be able to delve into another dimension, which is made of molecule, and start to, detect the intricacy of the molecular level dynamic interaction, communication, signal transformation, signal transduction, and then how that, lead to the amazing functional change, cell behavioral change. So between 1993 to 1999, basically Dr. Tongwen Wang started to, crack open one thing after another, the powerful signal transduction mechanism of the transforming growth factor beta, and her research started to make a major impact to the most frontier life science research. The transforming growth factor beta superfamily, the signal transduction mechanism, became almost like the centerpiece of the entire, life science research field. People gradually recognize that, we are really facing an amazing, beautiful molecular mechanism, an extremely complicated molecular mechanism. And so, the kind of intricacy, the molecular level, drama unfolding in front of Dr. Tongwen Wang also came along, together with her incredibly turmoiled, personal life and the big events that happened. And so among all that, the most splendid story is really about, Dr. Tongwen Wang's giving birth to little Noah, and along that, Dr. Tongwen Wang's encountering of also a little guy called FKBP12 at the molecular level, and how, the birth of Noah and the discovery of the function of FKBP12 came together, totally interconnected. That was absolutely incredible. And it was very interesting is that every time when Dr. Tongwen Wang's lab uncovered some major important mysteries at the molecular level, there is always a newborn baby. Always a newborn baby that came along with it. So, yes, spiritually, now looking back, yes, there is definitely an awakening of the molecular world and then manifesting into the human world kind of phenomena. But let's make a pause.